everybody, Kenny B here to talk to you about Walking Dead. I know I've been neglecting this, I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. So much bullshit's happened in this show that it pisses me off. I mean, really pisses me off. And, the guys at fucking Talking Dead still won't contact me back. I emailed them. I told Hardick, hey, look, I'm the man you should be talking to. Not some fucking weird-ass comedian that's never stepped foot in a zombie apocalypse of any sort. Hell, they probably don't even have experience playing zombie games. So, why the hell is Chris Hardick ignoring me and going for fucking comedians I've never heard of? I can't tell you. So, we're going to just try to catch things up, try to talk about what happened, how I think that Team Prisons sorely disappointed me. Besides the fact they have never practiced with their weapons, from what we're talking about in a few minutes, it's obvious to me that they lack the survival skills to have the backing of me, Kenny B. Okay. Lead off, the start of the first part of the season. Everything's hunky-dory. We now have Farmer Rick instead of the Rick-tator. You find out how they have the prison community set up, which wasn't a bad setup, but they weren't thinking of defense. In the zombie apocalypse, defense is everything. They had a few people go out scrounging, and another few people out just stab the zombies in the eye and kill them. They lacked preparation in terms of, hey, what if raiders come? And raiders are a very prevalent issue in the zombie apocalypse. So, we move on. You find out the governor, what happened to him after he slaughtered his own people and drove off with the other two. I was kind of thinking that he was going to kill those two, but evidently they abandoned him wisely because you can't trust the man, and he became a hobo. All he needed was the stick with a little rag bundle on the back, wandering around the apocalypse, and it would have been a perfect new role for him in that regard. So what happens to the governor? The governor comes across this family, two sisters, a daughter, and the grandfather/father of the two sisters, and he befriends them. You actually think the governor is going to turn a new leaf, he's going to become a decent person. Well, we know what happens there. We're going to go back to that in a minute. Meanwhile, in the team prison, you find out there's some kind of sickness going around. Kills a bunch of people off. Well, it doesn't kill them off, gets them really sick at first. Then somebody kills the sick people off so they won't rise up as zombies and attack people in the prison. Partly a good idea, but when Carol did this, which we later find out, she totally fucked it up. Instead of saying, hey guys, we might want to consider having a 24-hour watch on these people, so when they die, we just take them out. No, she took it upon herself to kill these people while they're still living, then burn the bodies. Not tell anybody. This, of course, has Tyrese all pissed off because he doesn't know who did it. He won't find out soon enough. And besides going around whacking sick people, Carol's been teaching these girls how to be sociopaths. Not survivalists, sociopaths. Cover that in a little bit when we talk about the second half of the season. So, Carol goes out with Rick on a run. Rick has some suspicions that she was responsible. Confronts her. Tells her to pack her bags, get the fuck out. You're not coming back to the prison. We can't trust you. Well, after that, shortly after, the governor, you find out, teams up with his buddy, who abandoned him. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about. And he finds another camp of survivors. Once again, you're thinking, he's probably turning over a new leaf. But then he starts being threatened when his buddy starts talking about the past and all the fucked up shit he did. What's the governor do to repay the favor? whacks him in the back of the head with a 9-iron, drops him in a zombie pit. Now you know the new governor is really just the old governor in hiding. So, after he kills that guy off, another guy says he's going to take charge, one of the people who's been around the camp for a while. Governor really doesn't like how he runs things because he's more, shall we say, human-centric, where they came across a group of survivors in the woods, and rather than take their stuff, he wanted to let them keep it. They come back on a scene where those people were, and this leader's brother is pissed off because he and the governor both want to take their shit. Well, evidently somebody else came in, killed them all off, took their shit. Well, governor decides, okay, I'm going to sneak out of here now because these people are just not going to be able to keep me and mine alive because he's pretty much adopted the two sisters and their daughter as his own family. So, he goes to sneak out in the middle of the night, comes across a group of zombies stuck in what looks to be a washed out road, doubles back. Now he has a new master plan. New master plan is he's going to kill everybody else off that's in control of this actual little group. Well, he kills off the leader, then tells the brother, look, you can work with me, or you can end up dead. The brother, real loyal to his own family, says, I got no choice, I'm going to work with you. Well, everything seems to be calmed down again. Then, a zombie sneaks into the camp. Then the governor gets a bug up his ass and he's going to go back to the prison, say, fuck you to Rick, and take that shit from him because he's got a tank. How these people are keeping a tank fueled in the zombie apocalypse? Anybody's guess. Because it's an M60 diesel-powered tank. Not a lot of fuel around this late in the game. If you're saying maybe a year into it, still a chance. But I believe we're, 2-3 years into the zombie apocalypse? Diesel fuel is not that hard, going to be not that easy to come by. This is not like an M1 tank where you can practically piss in the gas tank and it'll run. Plus, it's a tank. We already know loud noises attract zombies. The sound of that tank starting up is going to be a beacon for every Zed in the vicinity to come and close in on that spot. Well, long story short, governor convinces these people to go back or take to prison. He makes them out to be the people who burned Woodbury down. We all know it was the governor, just before he went into hobo mode, that burned it down. Well, a little altercation happens because when he goes to scam take to prison, he manages to somehow get the jump on Michonne and poor Herschel. Once again, this is why I said Team Prison disappoints me because they did not have established security for their camp. You think, somebody patrolling and people being on guard because you never know when a zombie's going to pop up, much less a raider. So, Michonne and Herschel get kidnapped. Like I said, governor convinces everybody, hey, we're going to go and take to prison. They show up, big discussion. Rick's trying to convince them, hey, you don't have to do this. You can live with us. We'll try to work it out. Governor says, fuck no. Cuts Herschel's throat. Well, that starts a whole mess. People getting shot left and right. Michonne manages to get away. Long story short, Team Prison gets scattered to the four winds. A bunch of nameless extras all die. Start of the second half of the season. Now you have, at the moment, Daryl and can't remember her name off the top of my head. They're wandering off together. Then you got the medic guy, Tyrese's daughter, and Maggie together in a group. They're off together. And then you got, I can't remember his name now, Glenn and the new girl, one of the girls that was hanging out with the governor. They're a team. Then you got Rick, that little bastard. They're wandering off. You know, him and Carl just stagger off. Carl's pissed off at the world. We're going to cover that in a second. And Michonne's on her own. Then you have Tyrese and the two little girls that are sociopaths thanks to Carol carrying Judith. Carl and Rick think Judith's dead, so Carl's pissed off about that. Pissed off that his dad was weak and allowed the governor to do what he did. Meanwhile, Rick's all fucked up because he got stabbed and broken ribs and all kinds of stuff. And I think he got shot a few times. How he didn't bleed out, anybody's guess. We'll cover that story arc real quick. They go out, they find a house. Carl goes into typical little Carl bastard mode, yells at his dad, tells him, I don't need you, I can survive on my own. Learns that he can't survive on his own because he's a little bastard yet. Doesn't have the upper body strength or smarts to survive in a zombie apocalypse. So, he's back with his dad. Michonne. You start to see a little bit more of Michonne's life before the zombie apocalypse. Still cool. You learn a lot. Like I said, really cool. She's wandering around with two walkers she collected and sees her walker that kind of resembles her, like her walker doppelganger, if you will. Then she goes, kills it, spazzes out, realizes she needs human contact. She can't just keep wandering around like an automaton. Boom. She links up with Rick. She starts to interact more with Carl, almost like a big sister kind of way. So they go off. That's where they do their little bonding moment in the house. Carl starts asking her questions about her life before the apocalypse and all that. Meanwhile, Rick's in the place recovering. He's sleeping upstairs. Here's a couple of whack jobs come in. Long story short, Rick kills a guy who was on a toilet, but not taking a crap because the toilet seat was down at the time. Don't know what the guy was doing in there. Ends up killing him, leaving him there as a booby trap because he leaves the door open just a little crack. So that zombie raider will go down and kill his friends. Now you got Daryl and Maggie's little sister. That group. You start seeing that Daryl's blaming himself. He's pissed off at the world because he blames himself that if he would have kept looking for that governor and killed that bastard while he was a hobo, Team Prison would still be in one piece. The weight of the world's kind of weighing down on him. And unfortunately, he has a little drunken rage moment where he's yelling at Maggie's sister about how his life fucking basically sucked because he had an abusive alcoholic dad and all that shit. Long story short, they kind of bond and they have a healing moment. They're moving on. Now, Tyrese is with the two little creepy girls. Well, really one of them was really creepy because she was going to smother Judith when the zombies were sneaking up because the baby was crying. Long story short on that one, they end up getting away. Like, Tyrese goes to answer a call for help. Like I said, the little creepy girl smothers Judith because, Carol's got her turned into a sociopath. Well, and then at the end, Carol's there with the two little girls. Tyrese, they're all going to leave for this Terminus place. We'll cover Terminus at the end of this. That was an intentional rap by me, no. Next, Maggie, Tyrese's daughter, Medic. They're all looking for Glenn. They find the magic bus that escaped. Glenn's not on the bus, lots of dead bodies. They're now trying to figure out where the hell to go next. But they're going to keep looking for Glenn. Next is Glenn. Glenn's with the cop girl, the governor's sister, girlfriend's sister. Long story short on that, they find the bus. They kill a few zombies around the bus. Some military-looking guy comes up with a deuce and a half. Some chick that's dressed totally inappropriately for the zombie apocalypse. Don't get me wrong, smoking hot. But you don't wear that when you're actually in the zombie apocalypse. You want to be fully covered and wearing body armor if possible. And they're also with an egghead. They find out that these people are going to Washington, D.C. because the egghead has a solution to the zombie apocalypse. Glenn really doesn't give a shit. He wants to find Maggie. get his family back together, and hopefully find the rest of Team Prison that's now, most of them, like I said, nameless extras, all slaughtered and dead. Well, as they're having this little argument outside their deuce and a half, as Glenn's storming away, this guy's trying to talk him into coming back, zombies come out of a cornfield, zombies of the corn. Egghead takes an M4, sprays, managing to pop the fuel tank on the deuce and a half, pretty much rendering it useless, because now it'll run, but not very far. So now they leave off where they're having their little discussion, like, okay, well, I guess we'll follow Glenn wherever the hell he's going, because, fuck our mission, fuck saving the world, we're going to follow this guy. But that was the Hispanic girl in the inappropriate uniform for the zombie apocalypse that thought that one up. The rest of them just kind of followed. Stupid, yes we know. But that pretty much kicks us up to tomorrow night's episode. Not sure exactly what's going to happen, but it looks like fog, zombie apocalypse, dumbass is walking in it. Fog, zombie apocalypse, hold up somewhere safe. Now, that's normally what most smart people would do. But Team Prison, as I said, is very disappointing. Never practicing safe security, not even practicing with their weapons, because if they were to practice with their weapons in the first place, they could all have beads on all the fucking people who were the governor and took them out before they had a chance to cause the problems they did. But, like I said, Team Prison, I am disappointed. However, I'm still got hope in Daryl that he's going to man up and take care of business like he always does. Now, the last part I'm going to talk about is Terminus. Zombie apocalypse, a place called Terminus. Probably not the place you want to go. Have any of you ever watched 28 Days Later, where the radio broadcast is like, we have food, we have shelter, blah, 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 blah. It kept repeating. What happened there? Bad shit. What's going to happen here with this bullshit? More bad shit. Well, like I said, my opinion, Terminus, bad place to go. Unfortunately, once again, Team Prison should have had a rally point set where they're all going to meet up if anything like this were to happen. Once again, that's where Daryl and Michonne kind of screwed up. They were the ones out ranging most of the time, looking for supplies. They could have found a secure location for this, but they didn't. So, with that being said, looking forward to the next episode of Walking Dead. Chris Hardwick, hey, pick me for your damn show, Talking Dead, because I'm an expert. Like I said, I've killed plenty of zombies. I know what it's like. So, like I said, you have any questions, comments, email me at kennybmallninja@gmail.com. Look for me on Facebook. I'm on there. Always talking to people. Love to talk to my fans. And follow my blog, MallNinjas@wordpress.com. Until next time, keep your weapons handy, trust no one, and remember, the zombies are coming, and it's up to people like me, Kenny B, to protect you, the civilian populace, from the hordes of necro-reanimates that want to eat your tasty flesh. Take care.